Hi everyone, Madonna Guy, New Leaf Natural Therapies. I wanted to talk today about two things that can really cause inflammation in the body and therefore really impact on your ability to lose weight and feel the best you can possibly feel, which is obviously from that naturopathic kinesiology, natural therapies world where I come from and what I'm trying to do for people out there in the world. So I've got two stories I want to share with you. In both of these cases, one was me and one was a client. In both of these cases, kilos of muscle mass was lost in a short period of time, so I want to explain why. So the first was going back about, 11 years ago, we had the GFC, the Grand Financial Crisis in Australia. And in a period over 4 months, I went from 10 team members to 4, and it was one of the most stressful things I've ever been through in my life. And thinking back, obviously there was a lot of overeating, there was a lot of stress, it was probably, I don't remember drinking too much, but who knows what was going on at the time. But it was just a long, drawn out period where life was tough and we were bleeding thousands of dollars each month from the clinic. So it was just really tough. And so once we got that under control, it took about, anyway, the story was, it was tough over many, many months. So when I was doing my body composition analysis regularly at that time, and when I had to let my last 3 people go out of the 6 I let go, I lost about 3 kilos of muscle mass over a period of a few weeks, and my muscle quality went down hugely. So I wanted to sort of chat about that. But the second example I had, which was a similar example with a different thing, I had a lady who'd been on a fat loss program with me, and she'd been doing really well, consistently losing like half a kilo to a kilo per week, but probably on average 600 grams or so. And she was doing really well, and it was more a ketogenic sort of diet. So and she was sticking to about 70% on average of the protein and fat compared to carbohydrate intake. So anyway, one day she's at the service station. In Australia, there were 3 Mars bars, the king size ones, for $5, and she got all 3 of them, and they made them all into her tummy by the time she got home. So by the time she got to me on the Saturday, she said to me, "Oh, by the way, I haven't been that good." And I said, "Oh yeah, what's been going on?" And she said, "Well, on Thursday I just had enough, and I went for it, and I had 3 Mars bars." So anyway, I said, "Oh, okay, let's have a look and see what happened." And it's just one of those classic things where when you have a look at something and you go, "Holy moly, this is really interesting." So funnily enough, she actually looked the same on the scale. So from a girl's perspective, we always want weight loss, but we're even happy if we don't put on weight, especially when we've been naughty. So we hopped on the scales, and she was about the same as she had been the previous week. And I think that's when she admitted to me. Hasn't been a good week, by the way. So anyway, we sort of had a quick chat about, she said, "Now what I did on Thursday." And then she told me. And I said, "Oh, well, okay, well, the numbers don't lie, so let's do the body composition." So we did the body composition. And it was funny because it was funny to me. She'd lost a couple of kilos of muscle mass. She'd gained fat mass. She was less hydrated inside the cells. She had way more fluid outside the cells. So overall, even though she was the same weight as the previous week, she was actually different by about 7 kilos when you sort of take away muscle mass, add fat mass, take away fluid inside the cells, add fluid outside the cells, which is all about inflammation. She basically weighed the same. And it took about 3 weeks of really hard work and exercise for her to get that back to where it had been before the 3 Mars bar day. So that's one of my tips for HCG is, if you think you're going to recover really quickly from a 3 Mars bar day, you're not. So that wasn't even HCG, but HCG is less forgiving because HCG is a fat storing hormone. So because HCG, brown fat is designed as a baby to sop up nutrients so that they're not going to starve or freeze to death. As adults, when we're under stress, we lay down calories in our brown fat so that when we're starving to death over winter, we don't lose it. So we don't die. So it's sort of funny that 2 different things. Mine was 4 months of prolonged stress, and once we got to that stage where the remainder of the team and I all went, right, this is what we need to do. We need to buckle down. We need to get things happening. And it took about 2 years to actually recover. But it was sort of one of those interesting things where that short-term stress created pretty much the same damage in my body from a metabolic body composition perspective 2 or 3 Mars bar day in a person. So I remember Dr. Jeffrey Bland, should check him out, he's pretty cool. Dr. Jeffrey Bland said at a seminar once, he said, one big fatty, sugary, carby meal can increase inflammation for up to 42 days. So the thing about HCG, and the thing that I always like to remind people is what you do afterwards. So if you have a bad day, do the recovery day the day afterwards. Do a steak day, do a 500 calorie day, do a high protein, no carb day, do a recovery, the 6 apple day. So don't forget the recovery days really work. You might need a couple of them if you've been really, really bad. But keep in mind, you will get back down there if you get into it nice and quickly. Anyway, check me out on Facebook. Check me out on, don't forget to subscribe, and look forward to hearing your weight loss stories. Have a great day, and don't forget, live your perfect life. Have a great day.